So, we're just going to pretend Robyn didn't have a full breakdown on camera. TLC really thought they could cut that scene, and no one would notice, please. Meanwhile, Janelle's over here serving us truth with a side of scorched earth, and we're supposed to believe the most dramatic moment of the season just didn't happen. Let's rewind, Janelle. Finally snaps. And not in the way anyone expected. No screaming, no tears, just clarity. A woman who's done the math, live the lies, and come to collect. And Kody, you could see it that split second where his face drops and he realizes, oh, I don't control this one anymore. But here's the kicker. While Janelle's over here, reclaiming her power, Robyn's breakdown, which we know was filmed, magically disappears from the final cut. Why? Because this show has stopped being about truth. It's about preserving the image, Kody's image, Robyn's image, the illusion that this was ever a functioning family. But the truth, it's leaking through the cracks now. And today, we're going there. The cutscenes, the confrontation, the moment Janelle broke free. This is the part they didn't want you to see. It wasn't just a laugh. It was the laugh, the kind that says, "Are you seriously still trying this?" When Janelle looked Kody in the eye and let out that stunned, breathless laugh, you could feel it. It wasn't joy. It was years of quiet endurance bubbling to the surface, a laugh soaked in disbelief, exhaustion, and finally clarity for over 2 decades. Janelle has been the calm one, the rational one, the don't rock the boat wife, who played the long game, kept the peace, and swallowed her feelings, while Kody spun his emotional chaos. But this moment, it was the end of that story. Janelle finally saw the pattern, and this time, she didn't bite her tongue. Kody launched into his usual deflection. Something about loyalty, respect, how he feels abandoned. His monologue was full of buzzwords, zero accountability, and that now predictable tilt of the head that says, "Why is everyone being so mean to me?" And then Janelle, who has stood by this man through financial ruin, emotional neglect, and years of playing second-ass, wife looked at him and laughed. Not cruelly, not mockingly, just done. And then came the line, "You're acting like you're the victim, but you created this." Boom. That wasn't just a mic drop. That was 20 years of silent strength finding a voice. And Kody, for once, he didn't have a comeback. Because how do you gaslight someone who finally sees the flames for longtime viewers? This was the payoff. We've watched Janelle play by the rules show up. Provide, defend all while being sidelined emotionally, both on screen and off. And now she was done playing nice. This scene didn't just shift the power dynamics, it shattered them. Janelle wasn't asking for understanding anymore. She wasn't looking to fix it. She was naming it out loud on camera, that laugh. It was the sound of a woman reclaiming her reality. It meant no more walking on eggshells, no more being the peacekeeper while Robyn cried and Kody sulked no more. Pretending this was still a spiritual union. When it's been a hollow performance for years, Janelle cracked the illusion wide open, and in doing so, she gave voice to every viewer who's ever screamed at the screen, "Why are you still putting up with this?" That moment wasn't just satisfying, it was history. Janelle finally chose herself. Let's talk about the victim. No, not Christine, not Janelle, not Mary in Kody Brown's mind. He's the one who's been wronged, and not just once, every single time. When Christine left, she blindsided me. When Janelle finally snapped, she's disrespecting the family. When Mary, after years of spiritual exile, finally let go, she gave up on us. Are we noticing a pattern here? Kody never owns the wreckage. He simply steps over it and calls it betrayal. And the way he spins it, it's almost impressive if it weren't so painfully transparent. He says things like, "I don't feel safe with her," referring to Janelle safe, Let's rewind. This is the same man who told Christine he wasn't attracted to her anymore on national television. The same man who admitted he didn't try with Mary for years and expected her to be grateful for his emotional crumbs. The same man who blamed Janelle for dividing the family because she wanted to see her own kids. But he doesn't feel safe. That line alone, "I don't feel safe," has become his emotional shield anytime a wife questions him, holds him accountable, or simply asserts a boundary. He retreats into this faux vulnerability. "I'm hurt. I'm abandoned. I'm the victim." But here's what he never talks about: the emotional labor these women carried for decades, the isolation they endured while he spent nearly all his time at Robyn's, the gaslighting, the favoritism, the stonewalling. He talks about loyalty. But what about reciprocity? He talks about respect. But what about the years he disrespected their needs, their voices, their agency? And the worst part, he truly seems to believe he's the one being wronged, even as his wives leave one by one with dignity. Not drama, he positions himself as the tragic hero, the man who tried so hard to hold the family together, while in reality he bulldozed it with entitlement and emotional immaturity. And now, as the house of cards collapses, he's not asking why it fell. He's asking why everyone's so mad at him for stacking it badly. Let's be honest, Kody Brown isn't confused. He's exposed. And if you've watched this show long enough, you know this isn't new. It's just finally being seen for what it is. So let's ask the question plainly. Can you believe this man actually thinks he's the one who's been abandoned? So let's talk about what we didn't see in the final episodes when everything was falling apart. Janelle confronting Kody Christine long gone. Mary quietly stepping out. Viewers were waiting for one thing: Robyn's reckoning the moment she'd finally confront what her presence, her priority has done to this family. And maybe we saw the start of it. A quick shot, eyes welling, hands, fidgeting, Robyn whispering that she doesn't want to be filmed like this, and then cut, no follow-up, no wide shot, no confessional unpacking it. It was gone, which begs the question, did TLC just edit out Robyn's full breakdown? Because let's be honest, we've seen Christine sob over Kody's rejection front and center. We've seen Janelle stoic for decades, finally shake with frustration. We've seen Mary break down time and time again, her tears becoming a character of their own. But Robyn cries, and suddenly the camera accidentally pans away. You could almost hear the production assistant whispering, "Protect the narrative." And what is that narrative? That Robyn is the good wife? The last one standing. The one who wanted the family to stay together. And maybe that's true. Maybe she did. But real truth-telling means we show everyone's unraveling, not just the women who left, but the one who stayed. Because here's what we know. Robyn's tears may be real, but so is her protection. The edits soften her blur, her contradictions. She gets sad piano music. Meanwhile, Christine gets cold replays of Kody saying he's not attracted to her, and Janelle, her anger is framed as combative, as if she didn't earn that rage after years of silence. But Robyn's soft voice, her sudden breakdown, it's almost as if TLC wants to cue sympathy, not scrutiny. That's not balance, that's bias. We're not saying Robyn didn't suffer. We're saying, why don't we get to see it? Why is her grief protected while everyone else's is broadcast in HD from 4 angles? It's not conspiracy, it's consistency. We're asking for, if this show is about family truth, then we deserve the whole picture, not a curated portrait. Because when Christine cries, we feel the history. When Janelle explodes, we feel the cost. But when Robyn breaks down and it gets cut, we're left wondering, was this the moment we were finally supposed to see her as something more than just the last wife standing? Or was that moment too real for the version of Sister Wives TLC still wants us to believe, after all the shouting, the gaslighting, the tears, and the years? Christine did something radical. She chose peace, while Kody spirals in a storm of ego and self-pity. Christine is somewhere quiet, somewhere steady, somewhere safe. Enter David Woolley, the man who doesn't raise his voice, doesn't rewrite history, and doesn't need a throne to feel like a husband. Just watch the way he looks at her, not like she's a burden to manage or a rebel to scold, but like she's finally come home. There's a moment, blink and you miss it, where Christine laughs, full body, unguarded, headther kind of laugh, and David, he smiles and joins her. No tension, no undercutting, no you owe me loyalty speech, just joy. It's everything Kody never gave her. Because here's the hard truth: Christine was never difficult. She was never the problem. She just stopped playing small for a man who needed her to shrink so he could feel big, and when she left, Kody didn't just lose a wife. He lost control. He lost the one who made the house run, the one who smiled through loneliness, the one who raised children while he chased validation. And when she took her heart and her story elsewhere, that's when the mask cracked. Christine's joy isn't just personal, it's political. It's a statement that love doesn't have to mean sacrifice, that marriage doesn't have to mean submission, that a woman who's been dismissed, devalued, and gaslit can still rewrite her ending. David isn't flashy, he doesn't dominate the screen, but maybe that's the point. Christine doesn't need fireworks, she needs consistency, she needs safety, and finally she has it. While Kody stares at the ruins of the kingdom he built on favoritism and ego, Christine is building something different, not a palace, not a power play, just a life, and for the first time in a long time, it's hers. Let's go back to that moment. Janelle, sitting across from Kody, he's spinning his usual story, blaming, dodging, pretending he's the victim in a disaster he engineered, and then she laughs, not a ha-ha polite, "You're ridiculous" chuckle. No, this laugh was sharper, heavier, the kind of laugh that says, "I've woken up and I'm not afraid of you anymore." That single moment, a woman laughing at a man who used to hold all the power, shook the entire foundation this show was built on for years. We watch these women try to keep the peace, smile through disappointment, carry the weight of emotional neglect, all while Kody bounced between houses like a king choosing favorites. But the veil is slipping even with TLC's careful edits, even with scenes mysteriously missing, like Robyn's full breakdown, cut short, or cut entirely. We still see it, the truth is bleeding through the seams. You can't edit out the weight in Janelle's voice, or the calm fury in Christine's eyes, or the quiet heartbreak Mary carried for a decade. And the audience, we're not dumb. We remember how Christine was vilified for leaving, how Janelle was painted as angry, how Robyn cried on cue and got the soft lighting, the piano music, the sympathetic close-up. But now viewers are calling it out: the double standards, the manipulations, the protection of a narrative that keeps Kody centered. And the irony: the more they try to control the story, the more it unravels, because you can't gaslight an audience that's been watching from the start. We know what love looks like, and it's not what Kody gives. We know what manipulation sounds like, and he's not hiding it anymore. And we know what freedom feels like, because we saw it in Christine's eyes. We heard it in Janelle's laugh. That laugh was more than disbelief. It was liberation. It said, "You don't get to define my reality anymore." And that's power. These women aren't bitter. They aren't vengeful. They're not the villains Kody once needed them to be. They're survivors, women who endured a system built to break them and walked out stronger. So let's talk about it. What did you feel when Janelle laughed? Did it feel like justice, like vindication, like years of tension finally snapping? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if this hit you in the gut, like it hit us, go ahead and hit subscribe, because this story isn't over, and the truth, it's finally getting louder than the edit.